Victor! I'm gonna give him a call. Let's see what happens. Bing bong, bing bong. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Victor. I can hear you. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. It's good to see you. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm excited for the call today.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I hope I can show you some stuff here and answer the questions. I have been following the live
Oh,
for
awesome.
a few minutes.
Cool.
So I have seen some questions and stuff like that. So I will try to answer some of them.
Yeah, I've been writing down some really good questions people have had. So yeah, how should we start? Did you want to share your screen, or you want to look at my scene that I was animating on last time? What would you like to do?
Yeah, I would like to share my screen. I watched the entire live, the previous live on YouTube,
Yeah.
while working on something else. So I wasn't like paying like 100% attention, but I was following it.
Sorry for yelling and complaining so much about Moho.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I would like to maybe share my screen and show, because I feel like some of the stuff you were doing wasn't really done in the way Moho works.
Right.
So that's why it could be annoying. But I'm hoping to convince you that if you take a different approach, you can have more fun.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, my objective, because I'm wanting to make a tutorial video, and my objective is always to make it like something somebody could pick the software up and learn in like 5 minutes and like
Right.
be off and going. That's why I kind of wanted to avoid using bones and stuff. I was like trying to avoid that method, but if you have a way to show it that's like easy, I would love to see what you would suggest.
Perfect. I hope I can. Let me
Cool.
just see how. Share my screen here. Give me 1 second.
Sure, take your time.
Okay.
All right. I am going to pop your screen out.
Super.
Let me make sure that's showing all right. Let me just hide some stream stuff.
Okay.
All right. You guys can see that okay? I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, super. Okay, and hello to everyone that is, they are saying hello. So I have your file here. I received your PSD file.
Awesome.
So basically, yeah, this is the characters separated in different layers. And I'm just going to drag it on top of a new file here in Moho.
Okay.
So Moho, it's going to ask me if I want to import this with every layer individually or as a composite, or if I want to select layers. So I will just import everything. I will click here, and now I have the full character. It is a bit bigger than my canvas, so I'm going to zoom out here by just dragging this one to the left, and now with the transform layer tool, which is this one, I'm just going to take this corner and make it small. Okay.
Okay.
And now if I want to reset the view, I can press home on the keyboard, and that's it. All right. So the thing is that what I saw you were doing is that you wanted to animate all the layers. I guess this is a more like Toon Boom approach of animation, which you have all these different levels and you just animate all of them and you treat that as a character.
Yeah, it's kind of like 3Ds a little bit that way too, where you like select all the bones and just key all.
Right. So yeah. In this case, we need to use. I mean, we don't need to. You could do what you were doing, but you will be happier if you actually use bones.
Okay.
That's at least the point I want to.
We like being happy.
I will try to prove that. Yeah. So let me show you first. So basically, you have the main folder here. And that folder contains all the other groups and all the other layers. And I can transform this folder into a bone layer. So I can just right click this and convert it to bone. Okay. So now the icon is different, it's a bone layer. A bone layer is like a group, but I can just add new bones to it. Okay. And now you can see that since I have this bone layer selected, I have the tools related to bones here. And I can start just adding bones. And let me just do something silly here. I'm going to add 3 bones with that bone tool, like dragging here, here, and here. And now I can test this rig with the manipulate bone tool. So I can just test this and I can bend this, and you can see how these bones are going to bend.
Oh, he
the
looks
entire
great.
character. And yeah, and that's it. So,
Yay!
so let me just select all these bones and I'm going to delete them. So now with the select bone tool here, I will select all of them and now press delete on the keyboard.
Okay.
And that's it. All right. So now we need to create a structure for the bones. Okay. And for this, I want to show you this in a new file just to make it more clear. But if I create a new bone layer here in a new file, let me show you how this works. When I create a bone, the created bone is going to look red. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A red bone in Moho, something red means it is selected, okay? And if I add another bone, that second bone is going to be child of the selected bone, okay? So that means if I create a new bone here, this new bone is going to be child of this one.
Right.
Okay? And if I, let's say, okay, these are two bones of my body, and now I want to create a bone for the head. So just do that. So now I know that the head is child of the chest and the chest is child of the belly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just continue added bones and they were a child of the red bone. Now if I want to create arms here and I just add an arm here, you can see that the head is red, and if I create an arm, this arm is going to be child of the head and not child of the chest,
right,
which is the proper hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And if I continue doing the other arm, now this second arm is going to be child of the first arm. So the thing is, I know I'm doing this wrong, but I just want to show you.
No, that's good.
What happens with this.
Mm-hmm.
So now if I test my rig with the manipulate bone tool, okay, I can bend the body and that works okay.
Cute.
I can move this arm and it works kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if I move the head, both arms move.
All right.
And if I move this arm, you can see how the other arm is moving.
Yep.
Okay. And this is because I didn't do it properly with the hierarchy. Okay. I can fix the hierarchy. If I did something wrong, I can fix that. But for now, I want to show you how to create a proper hierarchy from the beginning. Okay.
Cool.
So let me just delete. I'm going to select all these bones and I'm going to delete them. And the thing is that with the add bone tool, I can add a new bone. Let's say this is the belly. This is the chest, this is the head, and now before creating the arm, I want the chest to be red. I want the chest to be selected.
Right.
So I have two options for that. I can go to the select bone tool. I can select the chest, and now you can see the chest is red. So now I can go back to the add bone tool and create the arm. And that way I am sure the arm is child of the chest.
Makes sense.
Okay. Now, the other option is, instead of switching tools, I can simply hold Alt on the keyboard, or Option if you are using a Mac.
Alt or Option,
So
gotcha.
I'm still using the add bone tool, but I hold Alt and I click on the chest, and now the chest is red. And now I can release Alt on the keyboard and I can continue adding bones. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it possible to copy and paste bones? Like, could you copy your arm hierarchy, paste it, and flip it horizontal, just so you have it exactly the same? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you could do that. You can copy the bones.
Okay.
Not the entire content. Let's say in this case there is no content, there is no character here,
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it will be harder to copy the content and do that.
Gotcha.
I think there are scripts to do that, but officially it's not really supported.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the basic hierarchy, and now if I test this, I can bend my character, I can move the head, and I can move the arms.
Look at him
You can see
go.
how everything.
Cute.
Okay, so now let me go back to your character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to start adding bones to this character.
Okay.
So I have the bone layer selected. Inside of the bone layer, you have all the layers. If I open these groups, you can see how all the images are actually here.
Yep.
Okay, so everything is inside of this bone layer. So now with the add bone tool, something important. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Here at the bottom, you can see there is a text here. there you have tips about the tool you have selected. So if you want to know a key modifier or how a tool works, usually you have some help here.
That's helpful.
Okay.
Oh, Victor, something that might be helpful while we're doing this is
Sure.
differentiating if something is in 14 but not 12, because I know a lot of people bought 12 from the Humble Bundle
Right.
and might not have 14 features. That would be helpful to know.
Okay. Okay. Right now, so far everything can be done with 12.
I figured. Okay, cool.
If I notice something that is not there, anyway, of course I recommend you to upgrade to 14, but that is your decision. Okay, so now I'm going to start again from the belly here. I'm going to add a bone here, now a bone to the chest, now I'm going to add a bone to the head. Now I want to zoom in so I can actually hold right click to move the canvas and shift and right click to zoom in.
Oh, that's
out.
nice. Okay.
So I can do that, so you can drag to the left or to the right to zoom in.
I like that.
Okay. And now I can add bones to the ears. Okay. So I can just add a couple bones here. Okay. I know those bones are children of the head.
Right.
But now I need the other ear to also be children of the head. So I can hold Alt and click the head. And now I can create these other two bones. Okay. And now let's do the same with this hair. I'm going to hold Alt and click on the head and create one bone here. Hold Alt again and create another bone here just for the hair.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's do the arms. So I'm going to hold Alt and click on the chest. And now I can create one arm here. Hold again and create the other arm. And now I want the legs to be child of the belly. Okay, so I'm going to hold Alt and click on the belly, create one leg, hold Alt and click, and create the other leg. Okay, so we have our bones ready in theory. Okay, now if we test this, you will see that the hierarchy is working. Like I can bend the head, I can bend the ears, and I can move the arms, but you can see that the entire character is being distorted.
Yes,
okay?
he is squishy.
And this is because the bones, by default, every single bone, they influences every single image or every single layer that is inside of that. Okay.
Oh, hi, Junie.
But I can fix that.
Dude, Junie's the reason that I wanted to learn Moho. Junie's awesome in this program. Yeah, Junie's a master at showing how to use this program.
Oh, cool. Okay, we'll check. Them. Cool.
Yeah, I love
All right.
Junie.
So now what I need to do is to tell the software which layers are going to be influenced by which bones.
Right.
So basically, I want to take, for instance, I can take the leg left, which is this layer, this image layer. And let me zoom in here. And I want this layer to be controlled by these two bones. So I can use the select bone tool, select these two bones. I'm using, by the way, the lasso mode here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. And now I can click on link bones. And you will see that the bones now, they look a bit bold, a bit thicker. So that means this layer is only going to follow these two bones and it's going to ignore the rest. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with the other leg. So just select the other layer.
So you're selecting the layer first, then you select the bones.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you click link bone.
Exactly, and you can also, for instance, I want to select the belly or this part of the body. I can also hold Alt and right click, and I can select that layer directly. So I don't need to go here.
Alt and right click is such a useful one. I learned that one last time.
Yeah. I know you found it kind of weird, but once you get used to it,
it's like anything.
It's a nice shortcut.
Yeah.
And we also have a layer selection tool, the layer selector here. It does the same.
Gotcha.
So if you want to use a tool, you have the tool there.
Okay.
Now I'm going to select these two bones and link them. Okay, and now I'm going to select the arm, link the other arm, link. Okay. Now with the head we have many layers. Okay, and I don't want to link each layer one by one. So
Right.
instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, I have everything open here. This is important. So I have all these groups open.
Like you have the
I'm going to select
folders
the last.
twirled down is
Exactly.
really important. Okay.
Yeah, because I want to select the last layer, which is this ear,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to hold shift and select the first layer, which is this horn.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I have all these images selected. And now I'm going to select the head and link everything to the head. Okay.
Okay.
This is just to save time. I could do it one by one, but I don't want to do
No, this makes sense. Gotcha.
that. All right. Okay. And now once I have that done, I can select the ear only. So I'm going to select only this ear, and I'm going to select these two bones and link the bones.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So is link bone, does that only work with like image files and vector files? Does it not work with folders?
It doesn't work with folders.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it only works with images and yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because it works with the content itself.
That makes sense. Good to know.
The containers.
Okay.
So I can link that. And now finally, only the hair is left here. So I can just select these two bones and link them to the hair.
Nice.
Right. So now,
Not too bad.
yeah, so this is how you build the hierarchy. And now, once you did this, you have all the control you wanted to have in the previous stream,
Right.
basically. So so now I can test my character with the manipulate bone tool. I didn't say this, but I'm doing all this on frame 0, which is the frame where I build stuff in Moho.
Super important, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And now I can simply check, and you can see how the character is already moving and bending, and I can move the hair, and I can bend the ears. You see, I could add more bones to different parts, but so far we are going to just use that. And now if you look at the bones, you can see they have these ovals around, like this red oval here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the strength of the bone. Okay, so based on that strength is how the layer is going to be bound. No, sorry, how it's going to be bent. Sorry, my English, sometimes I get confused.
Oh, no, you're fine. Makes sense.
So I can use the bone strength tool, and I can drag on any bone to add more or reduce the strength. So basically I can make like the calculation of how much strength I need from the bones to get a better bending. So maybe this one is better.
If you're bending these bones on frame 0, is that permanently moving them in that spot?
No.
Okay.
No, because I am moving on frame 0 with the manipulate bone tool, I'm just testing the rig.
That's cool. You can test it and like modify the strength at the same time. That's really handy.
Yeah. So I can for instance bend this arm, and then I can go to this tool and start fixing that. So now I have this is not perfect, but I have a nicer bending here. I can do the same with the other arm. Okay, and yeah, someone said it's less weight painting and more weight assignment. Yeah, it's something like this.
A good way to describe.
The nice part about this is I can show you with actually let me show you with a different example here. Someone was asking which animation
I love this
I
animation.
created before.
It's so
This
cool.
one I made in Moho.
That's beautiful.
So thanks. This is from a character made by Vibke Rowers. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Sure, sorry, but yeah, I reproduced this with vectors. And
Super
the nice thing
neat.
about this is that you can see that all these points are actually being influenced by the strength of the bones. But what I can do actually is I can open this layer. I can create a new vector layer here, and let's say I want to add some extra detail. Let me do something like pink, so it's very visible. But I want to add some extra detail for this arm, okay? And what I can do with this new layer, I can simply tell it to follow the same bones as the arm. So I'm going to link it.
With link
now-
bone, gotcha.
This character is working with that extra detail on it.
Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy,
And I
chat.
could do the same. Yeah, and I could do the same with a hat. So let's say I'm going to put a hat.
Yes.
So I just paint this, and now I can simply select the head bone and link that, and now I can be sure this character is going to walk with a hat.
So just to like reiterate, link bone is under the select bone tool. Is that where you find link bones?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, every tool I select will change this bar.
Right.
So when I'm using the select bone tool, I will have several options here. If I use like the point selection tool, I will have other options. So this changes um, based on what layer, what tool you have selected and in which frame you are to, because some stuff you can do it on frame 0, and some other stuff you cannot.
Right.
Another thing you can do here, just so we can make it to have more sense, to make more sense, I could select this vector and I could apply a brush to it. So maybe I want something to look a bit closer to
That's so cool.
the actual drawing. So, and maybe it's going to boil every 3 frames, and that's it. And maybe I'm going to make it way thicker.
The line boil effect is so neat. I love that feature in Moho.
Yeah,
That's
it's nice.
super cool.
It's very easy to set up too.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but anyway, let me just go back. So you could do the same with your character here. So if you want to add extra detail to your character, you could do that. You can just create new layers and attach them to the same bones, and that's it. Okay, so now we have the, well, let me just fix a bit of the strength here. Okay, and now we have the character working.
Nice.
So let's say I think you were making a jump, and you were assigning some dynamic bones to the ears. One thing that actually I have seen that from many people that come from Harmony is that they rig every single individual layer. So they select a layer and maybe they add bones to that single layer.
That's what I thought.
And
yeah.
then they have like
at first
many bone layers for different characters, for different layers. In Moho, usually you have like one bone layer.
Yeah.
And that is the layer that controls everything. You don't need to go inside. Many times you animate with this closed.
That's so interesting.
You forget about the rest of the layers. So now I can apply, let me just show you here. If I go to any frame different than 0, I can use the transform bone tool. So I can, for instance, bend this character here. I'm going to create a little animation. I'm just going to shake this character a bit.
Yeah, shake him.
Maybe like that. Okay, something like this. And I'm going to hold Control and right click here just to mark this endpoint. So if I hit play, it's only going to play this. It's just for the preview.
That was control and right click you did that with?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
cool.
Control, command, and right click.
Okay.
And control and left click creates the beginning. So
that's
now
neat.
It's going to loop this part.
Cool.
And if you want to make them disappear, you just hold control and click on them.
Okay.
And they are gone. Okay.
Very cool.
So I'm going to just put it here. And now on frame 0, I'm going to select. Actually, I'm going to select the bones of the ears. I'm holding shift here to select all this, and also the bones of the hair. Okay. And this is important, especially if you want to preview what is going on. I'm going to hit play now. Let me just move this here. Okay, I'm going to hit play. So I have my animation moving, and now I'm going to the bone constraints here. When I am using the select bone tool, I will have access to this little window here. And here I can activate the angle dynamics. And you will see the angle dynamics working in real time.
Yep.
For
That's
this
cool.
animation. This is not great, but the nice part about this is that you don't need to guess what numbers to put. You can actually test them in real time.
That's very smart. Gotcha.
So for instance, here it's rotating too much, so maybe the torsion is going to be way lower. So now you can see it's not rotating too much. Now it's still moving too much, so maybe I'm going to increase the damping. So I want this bend to happen, but I want it to stop earlier, so I'm going to increase the damping here. And then if I want a harder movement, I'm going to increase the spring.
Okay.
So yeah, so with this I can get a nicer idea of how my character is going to work. Okay, so now let's say this is the dynamics I want to create.
Sure.
So Now, of course, I selected the same numbers for all these bones, but I could select now these 2 bones of the hair only, and I could apply different numbers to them. So maybe want the hair to move more. See?
Cute. Oh, very cool.
Okay. And another thing that is nice is that you can also apply scale dynamics. So if I click here on scale, now maybe it's harder to see on the stream, but these bones are also stretching.
Yeah, you can see it getting bigger.
Yeah. So, and another nice thing about this is that I can click here on a squash and stretch scaling. So if I click here, by default, this movement is going to have squash and stretch.
That's so neat. That's really cool.
So, and I have the same values here. Like torsion in this case is like the amount of stretching, so I can make it lower or bigger, and then the spring, and the same for the damping. Okay, and I could do the same with the ears. So maybe I'm going to select the bones of the ears.
Such a big time saver for things like grass or something. I could see that being really useful, or like things blowing in the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, even like this follow through stuff, it can work very well. And if you have like good numbers here, that again, you don't need to learn the numbers. I have seen many people saying like, no, the best number is like 2.2 and 4 and whatever. Like, it doesn't really work like that.
Right.
It's more like whatever you are feeling. I mean, of course, there is some math to be applied here, but
I'm sure it depends on like the size of the object too and stuff.
Yeah, and the kind of material. For instance, if you want like something like a cloth, it's going to have a lower spring value. But if you want something more like a metallic antenna, it's probably going to have a bigger spring value.
That's a good way to visualize it. I like that.
So okay, so we have the dynamics already done here. So I'm going to remove this animation because I just created that to test the dynamics. So I'm going to select these keyframes and press delete.
Okay.
And now we can do the jump. I don't remember exactly how was the jump you were doing, but basically I can go to any frame. Let's say I want the character to start moving here on frame 9. I can click on the freeze bones button here. You can also press Ctrl F or Command F, and that will just add keyframes to every bone. That is what that
so
does. So
what do you have selected to do that? Is it just the bone layer and then you push that?
Bone layer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just the bone layer because everything I am doing here happens on the bone layer.
Gotcha.
Okay. And now let's say, okay, we're going to have a little anticipation. So maybe I can use the manipulate bone tool here. I'm going to move this down. I'm going to bend the legs. And maybe now with the transform bone tool, because with the manipulate bone tool, I can move the IK of the character, like bend the arms. And I have like a lot of control over like simple actions like bending or moving like this. But if I want something more precise, I can use the transform bone tool. Okay. And this tool moves bones, most of the time moves the bones one by one. So basically, let's say I want to move the head, I can click on the bone of the head, right? If I drag in the middle of the bone, I can rotate it. If I drag on the top, on this top circle, I can scale it.
Oh.
You see, let me just undo that. And if I drag at the bottom, I can move it.
Oh, interesting. Gotcha. Huh.
So basically, every bone has like those 3 channels you can animate. So
okay.
I'm going to move it down. And let me just create this kind of anticipation. This is not going to be great, but now I have this character going down during these frames. Maybe I'm going to increase that. Okay. Now I'm going to freeze that. If you want, you can.
That's how I like to work. If I just key everything all at once per pose, you know. So that's good to know. Why? Is there a reason it's called freeze? I know that was confusing to me. Freeze to me means like don't edit it sort of idea. I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't remember why that is the word, but basically, yeah, it's like all bones are frozen in that position now, I guess.
Yeah, it's a way to think about it.
We could think about I don't know. I never questioned that.
That's fine.
We need to change the
I
name.
was just curious. Usually, I think in Maya it's called like key all or something like that.
Yeah, probably that makes more sense.
Mm.
We're going to discuss that.
No worries.
It's just.
I always say like
it works with
every program has its quirks, you know. Yeah, you just learn the different terminologies and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and also we have this nice shortcut which is Control F.
Control F is super good to know. Gotcha.
Yeah. So with that, now I can move the arm. Let's say I'm going to move the arm a bit higher.
Does Control F not matter what you have selected with? Like if you just had one bone selected and you press Control F, does it still do it on everything else?
Yeah. Control F is always
that's for
every
everything.
bone of that selected layer.
Okay.
If you want to key a particular bone, let's say I select this bone of the arm. You see that when I select a bone, I have two timelines basically. I have a white timeline here, and I have this red timeline.
Right.
Okay? The red timeline shows me the keyframes of the selected bone or of the selected element. So if I double click on the rotation channel on the red timeline, I'm going to add a keyframe only for this bone.
Okay, double click on it.
Okay, yeah. And the white timeline, let me see, it's not being updated. Okay, there. The white timeline shows me like a general view of all the bones. So if there is any keyframe on any of the bones, at that point it's going to appear on the white timeline.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
It's looking cute already.
So we have this. Now I'm going to freeze this again, or to key all, however you want to call it. And I want to like kind of reset the pose to make the jump. So I can just click on reset here. So now that is everything that goes back to the original position.
Oh, that's handy.
That's it. So that's why when I was looking at you on the previous stream, I was a bit frustrated because we have all these tools, but they work like in the Moho way. All right. So
that's super handy to know.
Make the character jump now, so it's going to be higher, something like that.
Nice. Look at him go.
Maybe a bit higher, and maybe the oops. Let me just put the legs like this. It's not going to be great, but it goes like that.
I also noticed you didn't make like a root bone, you know, like a master bone for moving the whole character. Is that something you would do otherwise, or does it depend?
Yeah, I didn't do it. I mean, I usually don't do it, but there is something I do that I didn't do. I didn't do here to keep things simpler. But let me just. I will show you that. Let me just make this character go down. So
I'll let you cook. Yes.
I feel bad for this character. So I'm going to just reset this, and maybe now it's going to go down a little bit, and then reset again. So now we have this animation.
That was quick. That was so fast. Oh, he's so cute.
Maybe now I'm noticing the scaling of the ears. Maybe it is too much. But the thing with the root bone, and let me show you here. I'm sorry, but I'm going to remove the jump. Actually, let me save the file just in case.
Okay.
Okay, that's the name. I'm going to remove the animation here. We can have in Moho, we can have IK, you know, like FK and IK. So basically we can create targets and we can make the bones or the feet to stay on the ground.
Right.
So what I could do here, and what I usually do, is I'm going to add a couple bones here, like on the ground. I want these bones to not be child of any other bone, so I'm going to press escape. For instance, right now, this bone is selected. I don't want that bone to be the parent of my next bones, so I'm going to press escape.
Escape to deselect.
So now it's not selected anymore.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So every time you press escape, in this case it's deselecting bones. If you are in a vector layer, it will deselect the points and the shapes.
Okay.
And I'm going to create one bone here, okay, on the ground. Now press escape again, because the next one, I don't want it to have any parent, and create it here. Okay. These two bones, I can reduce the strength to 0, because actually I don't want to move any pixels with those bones. All right. And now I'm going to set some targets for the legs. So this is how you do it. There are two ways, like the long and the short one. I will show both.
Okay.
The long one is not that long anyway. If I select this bone with the select bone tool, you can see that the bone has a name. In this case, it's called B19, because basically it's the 19th bone I created. Okay, I could change the name here. It could be called Jesse.
Yay!
So, so now I need to select the calf bone. Okay. And now I can go to the bone constraints again. Like, you can do a lot of stuff with this window. And in the constraints window, you can see we have an inverse kinematics section. So I can select the target for this bone. So I will select the bone that is called Jesse.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay.
So now if I close this, oh no, I got a crash. There is a crash in the constraints bone tool.
I love when this happens on stream.
yeah, I love this.
It's
you know
fine.
what is the problem with this crash?
What's
have
that?
never been able to reproduce it.
Oh, that's
properly.
frustrating.
The thing is that I can show you that we have a very good recording system, so I didn't lose anything really.
That's awesome.
This bone is still called Jesse, and I just need to assign the target here. So the target here.
Yep.
I close this. All right. So now you can see this bone has a little circle there. That means there is a target.
Okay.
Okay. So now if I move outside of frame 0, if I move the belly bone, you can see how this leg is staying on the ground.
Man, that's so cool. I wish it was that easy in Toon Boom.
Okay. So this is the long way to create this. Okay.
Okay, that was the long way.
The short way. Yeah. The short way is I can simply select the calf of the other leg. Now we have the reparent bone tool. With this bone, you can fix like the hierarchy. If there is something wrong with the hierarchy, you will fix that. I'm not going to show how to fix the hierarchy.
Right.
There are many tutorials related
pretty
to
easy.
that. But with this tool, I have this bone selected, and now I can simply hold Control and click on the target bone,
and click,
and that's it.
Okay.
And now it has the circle, and now it's ready to go.
Oh, that's so neat. That's really easy.
So I don't like to use usually like a root bone, because I like to have like this like hips movement.
Gotcha. Yeah.
When I move the belly. You see? And another thing that you can do now is that, let's say, if I move this bone up, you can see how the legs are separated from the ground.
Right.
Okay? Because basically they reach the entire extension, so they don't have more material to continue being connected here to the ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's as far as they can stretch.
Exactly. So now what I can do is I can select both legs, the bones of both legs. I can go again to the bone constraints, and I can set the maximum IK stretching. So right now it's 100%. This means it's going to be extended up to its real size, and that's it. But I can set this to a bigger number, so maybe 200%.
Oh, so fun.
So now the legs are going to grow twice as long to reach the target. Let me close this again. And now I have some more room to play.
So fun.
This, so.
Yeah.
And finally, something else you can do is you can also select again these bones, go to the constraints, and select the squash and stretch stretching. Sorry, squash and stretch scaling.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually you have a percentage. So if you don't want that much, you can reduce this percentage, and you can see how now the squash and stretch is less aggressive. So now if I move my character here, you can see that when it stretches, it generates like this cartoony scratch and stretch effect automatically.
Very nice. I
Okay.
sorry if you were gonna go over this anyway, but I assume you can
No,
like
no.
animate off the IK targeting, like if you want it not to target the bone at some point.
Yeah, yeah, you can. It's binary. It's on or off. So I can go to any frame. Let me just, for instance, I don't know. Let's say I move this character here. And now from this point, I'm going to freeze this. And now in the next frame, I can select this bone, and I could set the target to none.
Set it to none.
And that
Gotcha.
is going to free the. So now I can animate this leg. So now it can kick, for instance.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you need to be careful with the keyframes, though, because now there is like you can see a new bone target keyframe appeared.
Right.
You see, so every time you move something, a new key is going to appear, right?
Yep.
Now let me just go to. I want to open the Moho file I saved with the jump. Okay, so now this one doesn't have target bones, but
Right.
we're going to use it anyway. Let me just reduce the scale constraints. I'm a bit nervous with those ears scaling that much. Okay, so now what you can do now, like you see, like the animation, like the general animation, all happens on the bone layer, but you can still move the layers inside if you want to.
Huh.
Okay, so for instance, let's say you want to move one of the pupils. You can simply go to that pupil and say, I don't know, when it is going down, maybe I'm going to use the transform layer tool, reset the position, and then move the position down, and now I have that animation in that layer. And that animation is just added to the rest of the bone animation, you see?
Okay.
Would do the same with you.
Would the freeze keyframe button work now with that pupil? Now that it's been animated, would the pupil be included, even though it's not a bone?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Gotcha.
I need to check that. I think it did in the past. So maybe we broke something. But anyway, like this is a silly thing anyway, because even after, let me just remove the animation from for one pupil and now for the other one. What you could do also, even after you animated the character, I can still like select the head layer, the head bone. I could create a pin bone. A pin bone is just a bone, but it's a little circle. It's not long.
Right.
To create a pin bone, I just use the add bone tool and I click. So if I click instead of dragging, I create a pin bone. Okay. So I can create a pin bone for one pupil and then hold Alt and click the head and create another pin bone for the other pupil. So now I could go to the pupil layer, select the bone, and link the pupil to that bone. And the same for the other pupil. So select the pupil, select the bone, and link.
Gotcha.
So now I can animate the pupils directly on the rig.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if it's like you just put something with a bone if you wanted to animate it at some point. It seems like that's kind of the workflow.
Yeah, exactly that. So now the thing is that, for instance, here you can see that these two bones, they don't have a keyframe here because I didn't freeze that. So I can copy and paste this one.
Okay.
So now I can make the character look down, and maybe later it's going to look up. Yeah, I'm going to rotate it. Yeah, I don't know what makes sense for this character in terms of rotation, but yeah, say that.
That looks cute.
Yeah. So basically you can animate the pupils.
Gotcha.
Another thing that you can do, even after you animated the character, let me just move this pupil here. Because right now, if I move the pupil outside of the white part of the eye, of course, it's not masked, it's not cut, right? But what I can do is, I can select the white part of the eye, like this layer. And I can select also the pupil, so I have both. I can group them together. Okay, so now they are part of the group. I can call this group IL, And now I can simply right click the group, go to group mask, and tell the software mask inside bottom layer. So now this pupil is going to
Oh,
be
you could just do it from the right-click menu. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So now I'm sure this eye
Oh,
is
that's
not
easy.
going to be outside.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do the same with the other one. So group with selection, group mask, and that's it. And you can create like more complex masking stuff. But this is how you do it. When you're working with vectors, you can also do this, but let me show you very quickly here. Let's say I have something like an eye. I want to increase the thickness. Okay, this is the eye. And I have another vector that is going to be the pupil. Okay, so let's say that, okay? So I could just group these two layers. The same thing, right click, mask inside of the bottom layer, but now you can see that the dark line of the eye is behind the pupil,
right?
And I don't want that to happen. It doesn't make sense. The simplest way to fix that is that I can select the eye layer, double click it to open the properties. I can go to masking. Okay, here you have like more complex options for masking, but the one I want to show you is exclude the strokes. So when I do that, the stroke won't be part of the mask.
So you're doing that on the
that.
bottommost layer to do that, right? The bottommost layer properties.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. So you don't need to duplicate the layer, or you don't need to like separate the lines from the fill or anything like that. It just does it.
That's cool.
And an even simpler way, it's not exactly the same, but a simpler way that you can do this is that if you have an eye, I could even have the eye and the pupil in the same layer. So these are two vectors in the same layer, and now if I select the pupil is right on top of the eye, okay? The shape of the pupil. With the select shape tool, I can just click here on clip, and now the pupil is inside.
Oh, cool.
So now I have that set up.
Oh, that's neat.
It's not exactly a mask, but it works like a mask for this case.
That's cool.
So yeah, you can use this for several things. Like if you want to clip a shape inside of another, you can do that. You have other options, like you can add two shapes together. So now, like this circle will look like it is part of the same.
That's really fun. That's neat.
Or you can subtract. It's the same thing.
It's neat how it's non-destructive too. Like you can change it on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. And the nicer part is that if you add or subtract, you also have a blending value.
Oh yeah, this thing's cool.
It looks like
that's so neat. What a weird effect. That's so cool.
Yeah, but sometimes people they create like characters like this. Okay, this is the head of the character, and I just have these two shapes, and now I can.
That's so
like
cute.
Like Snoopy.
Yeah, that's really cute.
Yeah, it's like 2D meta balls, and you can combine also. Like I can have another one that is subtracted too. So on top of this one is going to be subtracted.
Man, that's really fun.
Animate.
Really cute character already.
So you can have that.
That's so fun.
Okay, let me just go back to the other file. Another thing that you can do is to create a mesh. So if I select the head layer here, you see I have this layer selected, I could go to draw and create a mesh layer. This is like a deformer, okay? Similar to deformers in Toon Boom.
Right.
It works a bit different. I feel you have more control over it. I can also take this layer now and just put it on top because I want it to be on top. But the nice part about this is that this is like a deformer. So if I go to any frame and I move the points, it's going to distort the head. Okay. So, sorry. Let me just, you can do like this kind of distortion.
What tool is that you're using to sculpt with?
The magnet tool.
Magnet tool.
The magnet tool.
Gotcha.
Yeah. we're going to use it now in a better way. Okay. Um, but now in this mesh or this kind of deformer, I can actually create more points. So I can use the add point tool, and I'm going to create new lines here. So maybe I'm going to create a line here. This is not going to look perfect. I should actually like follow the details of the character, but I want to create something very quickly. Just some lines here. Okay.
Okay.
So now the thing is that if I use the magnet tool, I can actually move and distort.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. And now finally, because this mesh is attached only to the head layer, only to this particular layer.
Right.
Okay. What I can do now is I'm going to actually select the head, the mouth, the nose. I'm just holding Control here to select all these layers. The freckles. I think that's it.
That looks good.
I want to select the horn. So now I can click on these 3 points to open the layer properties for all these layers. And I can go to the image tab, and I can assign that layer to all these, that mesh, distortion mesh to every single layer.
I see.
So now I press OK. And now if I distort this, I can distort the entire head.
That's neat. Man, that's really powerful. That's super cool.
So with this, and maybe this is the last thing I'm going to show.
Sure.
That's okay.
Thank you for your time, Victor.
No,
we really appreciate this.
No problem. I mean, I have fun with these things, and also it's nice to see how other people try to use the software, because it also tell us what we are not doing the right way.
Sure.
in the right way. So now what I can do is actually on the bone layer, so I have the bone layer selected, I can create an extra bone here. I don't want this bone to distort any pixels, so I'm going to reduce the strength to 0. And now I'm going to call this bone head, up and down.
Okay.
And I can show the label of this bone. Okay. Now you know what this bone is going to do. Okay. And now I can create a smart bone. A smart bone is like some kind of how do you call it in Toon master controller.
Oh, right.
Like
Yeah.
Okay. So to do that, I need to open the actions window here. So I go to window, actions.
Actions?
Here's my window. This actually can be a bit smaller here. And now if I have this bone selected, I am in the bone layer. Okay, so I have the bone layer selected, I have the bone selected, and I can create a new action. You can see that this new action shares the same name as the bone. Okay, that means the action, and actually it's like a piece of animation. That piece of animation is going to be linked to that bone. Okay. So I press OK. Now you can see the timeline is blue. That means I am in a different timeline. This is a different timeline only for this bone. Okay, it's not part of the main animation.
Gotcha.
And here I can tell the software, I'm going to go to second tree here, and I'm going to tell the software every time this bone rotates up, I want the mesh. I'm going to select all these points in the middle of the mesh, and I'm going to select to hit tab on the keyboard to select every point that it's connected to those.
Oh, tab.
So you can see
Gotcha.
I just selected a few and then press tab, and everything is connected.
Okay.
And now I'm going to use the magnet tool, and I'm going to click on selected points only, because I don't want to distort like the outside of the character.
Right.
Okay. And now I can hold Alt to make this magnet bigger or smaller. Now I'm just going to move everything up here. Let's say something like that. I know it's not perfect, but you will do something better later. But
pretty
this
cool.
is just to show you how this works.
Right.
Okay, so now I have this animation that is the character going up. At the same time, I could maybe take the hair and move it a bit higher too. Maybe I'm going to take this ear and move it down. This ear I'm going to actually scale it to simulate like this kind of rotation. I could take the horns. We'll just take the layer of the horn and move it up. Maybe this one up. Yeah. So now I have that.
So it kind of listens to everything that you move, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the nice thing about this is that now if I go to the main line by double clicking here, I don't need to worry about the keyframes on those layers I animated. I can just rotate this and animate this, so everything is saved into this bone.
That's super neat. That's not too bad to set up either. Like, that looked pretty easy to do. Once you know how.
It's very quick, and since a bone can rotate in two directions, like in this case it can rotate up and down, I can actually create two actions for the same bone. So I can select this bone again, create another action. You can see this action is called, has the same of the bone, but then space 2. That means it's the second action of the bone. I press OK. Now I can tell the software every time this bone rotates down, I want the opposite to happen. So now everything is going to move down like that. And again, I can move the bones down here, maybe the hair, like that. And I can select the layers of the horns and move it here. I could animate the layer order too, and you know, you can go deeper with this, but let's just say I'm happy with that. So now I can go back to the main line, and now we can animate that. And actually I can hide the mesh because I don't need to see that anymore. And now maybe when the character is going to jump, maybe I want the head to go down like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Maybe a little bit more, and then up.
I love this 3D look that it gives it too. That's super neat.
Yeah, so basically, now we have this jump. You see, but everything is just animated with that single bone. You don't need, again, you don't need to go inside every single layer to animate that. And the nice part about this also is that we always think about retakes. You know, I come from the animation industry too, so I know about retakes. So we try to make everything like retake ready.
Oh, that's great. You know? Yeah.
So if for some reason you have a retake, they tell you, okay, maybe the head rotation it needs to be more extreme. I can just go to this action again, just double click on it and go to the mesh layer and maybe go more extreme with it, you know, like go higher. I know this is not great, but I can play with that.
Super editable.
Now, this modification is going to appear on the animation already.
That's awesome.
So I don't need to worry about that.
Oh, super neat.
Yeah, this and you can create more smart bones. If I go crazy here, I could have another bone here. Call it head, left, right. Show the label, create a new action. I will try to do this as fast as possible.
It's good to go over again.
This rotates to the left. I want these bones to go like this. And then I will move the ears a little bit. I could add meshes to the ears themselves to simulate the 3D rotation inside of the ears too.
Right.
But let's say I want this, and I can create a second action for the same one. The other side.
Can I ask really quick why you create two actions instead of one, where it's like the middle keyframe is the center and then left and right is 0 or 72?
Yeah. That is technically doable, but I don't recommend you to do that. You could create like two keyframes for the thing is that the actions, they always go from the neutral pose, which is frame 0.
I see.
Up to the next pose. Okay? Some people create, instead of doing this, they take this bone on frame 1 and they move it. Okay, they move it here, and then in the last frame they move it here. But the problem of that is that here in the middle you have like a second neutral pose that is going to conflict with this one.
Okay, gotcha.
Does that make sense? So many times people do this, and then after that they have conflicts because maybe some parts of the character are jumping a little bit in one frame.
Okay.
But it's basically because you are giving the software like 2 frame zeros in a way.
I gotcha. So, that makes sense. Kind of complicates things.
So please don't do that.
Good to know. I'm glad I asked.
Hearing this, don't do that.
Cool.
it can work well many times, but when you find the problem, it's hard to fix,
Gotcha.
especially if you have many actions. But
Mhm.
anyway, now I can combine this, so now it can look
That's so
to the
neat.
left.
Oh, he's so cute.
and maybe to the
That's
right.
so cool.
Okay, no, this is very distorted, but let me just rotate it a bit more here. Yeah. So yeah, maybe this is too much, but
You get the
this is
point,
how
though.
it works.
Good demo,
And actually, you see, like there is a big distortion here for the lines.
right?
I could actually fix that very easily. And this is something, if you're creating meshes, not many people knows this, but many times it's nice to protect the lines, you know, like the distortion can distort the fields, but the lines should remain mostly the same. So what you can do is actually to add an extra line here,
Oh,
just to protect that line.
Oh,
so
that
then
is smart.
when these points move, they're not going to distort the line.
gotcha.
So this should work better now, hopefully. Yeah, at least like the bottom part is kind of working better in terms of the line, at least.
Right, yeah. You'd probably do it around the whole outline in that case. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a super handy tip.
Alrighty.
I don't think I heard anyone talk about that. That's super neat.
We worked. I worked in Cartoon Saloon, and a big part of my job was to animate backgrounds. I love animating backgrounds.
Oh, neat.
And many times we treated the backgrounds as characters. So many times you had to animate like very complex textures, and yeah, if with your mesh you protect like the key parts of the background, you can sell a lot of distortion with it. Like if the lines are not being distorted, or the important parts, like the ones that the eyes are following, if you can just protect that, it's going to work great, and you have a lot of range there.
That's neat. Victor, you can go whenever you want. I appreciate how much time you spent showing us everything. And you did have a question I was curious about animating layer order.
Yeah.
Is that something you could go over real quick?
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can do it here. We don't have like a set order that you can animate in Moho, but you can animate the layers inside of a group. So for instance, if you have the head group, I could double click the head group layer, go to the sort here, and enable the animated layer order.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So when I click here, you will see that the group now has like 3 little lines.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how well it looks in the stream, but
Yeah, you
now
can
the group
kinda
has
see it.
3 little lines on the icon. So now, basically, whenever I move the layer, so let's say I want the ears to be behind here. So I could just take the ear and move it below the entire head. So now that is going to create a keyframe on the group layer.
On the group layer,
It's
gotcha.
changing the layer order.
Okay,
So the layer order keyframes are always in the group layer.
gotcha.
So maybe let me actually disable the dynamics to show you that better. Here I can disable the dynamics.
Oh, and that's a
for
temporary
preview.
thing? Gotcha.
Yeah. So that way I could just look at. So now you can see the ear is behind. Maybe I want the horn to be behind too. So I can just select the horn and move it here. So now it's also behind, and maybe the same with the hair. I will put it here.
Awesome.
Now, before that keyframe and after that keyframe.
Oh, that's pretty easy. That's very cool.
Yes. So you can animate that, and then yeah, when the character goes down, you will also move everything to be on top, like the ears and the horns on top of the head. There is one thing you need to consider. If you save layer order in a smartphone, you won't be able to modify the layer order in the mainline. So for instance, if I take the head group and I modify the layer order inside of these smartphones, now the smartphones, they will have the priority about the layer order.
Okay.
So you won't be able to change that in the mainline.
Okay, so if you make like
you
an
need to
action
consider that.
with it, that's going to take priority.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 So I wanted to see if there was, if there are more questions that maybe I can answer quickly.
One big one was like, people just really don't want you guys to go subscription. It's so sad when companies do that. You guys seem very proud of like your pricing model, and I like championing that kind of thing where you can just pay once and own your software. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
Wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. We're very proud about that. I wanted to make a joke about going subscription to Moho, but maybe that's not the best joke to do right now. But
Yeah.
I am an animator myself. The other two owners of the software, they are related to the art industry too. We don't like subscriptions as users. I just canceled like my Adobe subscription.
Good.
Like a month ago or something.
That's great.
I don't think it's nice. I don't think it's fair, especially if you only have that option.
Yeah.
We like the idea of perpetual license, and we are going to maintain the perpetual license. We really want to be respectful with the artists. So there are 2 points here that are very important, at least for us. For instance, if you buy Moho 14, which is the version I am showing to you now, you will have access to every free update coming with Moho 14. Right now we are working on Moho 14.5. That is going to be for free for every Moho 14 owner. Okay?
That's super cool.
There are many new tools and features coming with that, and of course fixes for different stuff. If we release Moho 15 eventually, you will be able to, if you own Moho 14, you will be able to pay for an upgrade. It's like a fraction of the price. It's I don't want to say a number because I don't remember exactly now.
Sure, yeah, that's nice though.
Exactly what the number is going to be, but it's not going to be full price, and you are going to have access to Moho 15 with all its free updates. Okay, if you don't want to upgrade and you want to continue using Moho 14, you will be able to do that. You will be free to do that. We don't want to force anyone to upgrade. We think that it is our responsibility as developers to develop something so cool that you will feel the need to upgrade.
Yeah, I like that.
But we don't want to force anyone.
That's the way it should be.
And that's why we have people working with Moho 12, 13, 13.5, 14. We're fine with that. But yeah, our idea is that the new features are going to be so cool that you will really want to upgrade. And I cannot say anything, but Moho 15, it's not ready at all. But the new features we are adding, they are very cool.
Ooh,
very, very
I'm really excited. You guys do some pretty innovative stuff. Victor, you let me know whenever you need to go. Junie had a question saying in 14.4.
I think I can.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I can do a couple more questions. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, Junie had a question. Is the change in 14.4 that made corner points' hitboxes bigger, harder to deform individual points intentional or accidental?
Corner points, hitboxes. I haven't seen that reported, so I wouldn't say that is intentional.
Junie,
if it is not working well, it's not intentional.
Is this the thing we were talking about, Junie? I was having trouble like rotating layers. Like I had to zoom in really far to like grab the corner point to rotate a layer. And Junie had like a script to fix it. And he said like that wasn't the case in the version before it. It was only on like image layers.
Let me see that because you have a layer here. Okay, if I zoom in, because this box actually it doesn't change up to some point. So basically, yeah, if you want to move the layer, you can move it inside of the box or outside of the box. That moves the layer. If you grab the circles, you can scale it. And if you grab these two, this space between the two boxes, you can rotate it.
Oh,
and
that's...
if you zoom out,
gotcha.
That box doesn't really change size. So you always have the same space, you know, the same room to rotate.
Mm-hmm.
But it is always like that, like you know,
Yeah, I think it was
there is
specifically with
like one
rotation
box.
I was having trouble with.
Yeah, this is how it looks. So you have like the scale and the two boxes. Like all this area here is for rotation. So you need to click there.
Gotcha. I didn't know it was in the
I
side
can
that you click. Usually it's like on the outside corner.
Yeah. No, it's because outside moves the layer. So in between.
I see. Gotcha.
I said like because I can move the layer even if I have the mouse like here, I can still move that layer. And we really like that.
Yeah, no, that's handy.
Freedom.
It's very easy to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any thoughts on Linux compatibility?
Yeah, I mean, right now we don't have a Linux version. I don't think we are going to have a Linux version soon. But what we want to try is to make it easier to run in Linux. So if you are using Wine or any software like that, it should be easier. We are doing some changes like on the licensing, because sometimes the blocking is not really the software, is maybe it cannot communicate with the license online and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we want to improve that. I cannot say this is going to happen or at any point soon either.
Sure.
It's something we are thinking about,
Okay.
especially with what Windows is doing, and we are seeing more and more people wanting to move to Linux. And actually, like, this is, let me tell you just a little part of history, a little piece of history. Like Moho used to have a Linux version like many years ago. Like Moho 5 or 6, which was like Anime Studio 5 or 6. I don't want to talk about that name, but we used to have a Linux version. And what happened there is that there was a year we sold like 2 or 3 copies. So it really didn't justify, you know, having like the engineers working on that and having all that effort for so few copies. So it was sad, but we had to cut it.
I see.
I think that the background now is very different, and we see that Linux is growing again, and we need to make a decision that also makes sense in terms of how much time we dedicate to something instead of something else, you know?
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Priorities and all that. But yeah, it does seem like a lot of people are switching.
Yeah.
There was a really good question where someone was asking, is there a tool in Moho that people don't take advantage of that you wish more people knew about?
I think Vitruvian bones are very cool.
Vitruvian bones?
I would love more Vitruvian bones. Yeah, I would love to see more people using them. Let me see if I can find the Vitruvian man here. Okay.
It's so cute.
This one.
Wow.
But basically, you can have bones and you can have your rig working. But you can switch between different drawings and different sets of bones.
Oh.
You see? So basically, if you want to do like foreshortening,
wow,
instead of forcing the rig to do something or like the vectors to do something, you can just draw a new arm, create new bones for that particular arm, and then you can just switch it. So you have like a lot of options there. The same for the legs here.
Oh wow.
So you can just select this and
really powerful
between different drawings.
Huh.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that you still have the control over the main rig, so you still have IK, you can still modify different things, but you can move to different bones. So that is a very neat feature. It's very deep. They are not hard to set up, but not many people are I mean, there are some specific very nice cases, but I would love to see more people using them. Gotcha. Especially if you can draw some very cool poses. Like I would love to see like some kind of fighter, for instance, like some fight animation using this.
Yeah, that sounds super neat. That's cool. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what they were for. That's neat to learn about.
Yeah, yeah, and we have some tutorials there. They are not hard to follow, I think.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. Yeah, I'll definitely check those out.
Let me think about another one. Point animation. Well, point animation is very powerful.
Oh yeah.
We have people using that, but because I think actually this is one of the most powerful tools we have in Moho, and it's very different to other software. But for instance, if you have a character like this one,
It's so
the
cute.
idea is that you can create the main arcs of the animation with the bones, okay? But if you look at the head here, all these expressions are actually done with one layer. This is only one drawing.
Huh.
So all these changes on the face is only one drawing that is moving. So I can show you here, if I select this layer, let me just isolate that. This is one layer. So when it blinks, it's just these points moving, where do I have it? These points moving up or down.
Oh, just moving the vector
see
points
when it moves.
themselves.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that works together with the bones. So you again you can create like the main arcs of the animation with the bones, but then the expressions can be done with points.
Oh, it's
Here,
great for
she's happy.
faces.
I can make her
Very flexible.
I can make her more worried, and yeah, now I have this in between two. So I was saying like I don't remember who made this video. Brian, but I don't remember the last name. Sorry, Brian something. He made a video and he was saying like this is like an in between assistant. Really, it's
That's true.
It's very powerful and not many people use that.
Man, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at like in a harmony perspective, it's like every layer is its own deformer. You know, like you can animate whatever you want on that layer. And you can change the thickness, you can change the curvature, you can change the opacity of the points, the position, like every single property that that point has can be animated, and it has its own timeline too.
Oh, very cool.
Five layers, by the way. What is that? That is one.
Oh, that's Junie's emote.
At the chat.
Yeah, Junie animated that.
Cool. Is that Moho?
Yeah, Junie works in Moho and does all of his emotes in it. Does really cool stuff.
Cool. I want to.
It looks 3D.
Nice. Yeah,
super
layers.
neat.
Yeah, 5 layers, 0 bones. That's cool. Yeah, we have we have many people say like many people not using bones. Like there is like a like political parties inside of Moho. Like
Yes.
People that don't want.
Yeah, that's really great. I love that.
I am more in the line that I want the big arcs of the animation to be done with bones. Again, because I am thinking about the retakes too. Like if I can quickly fix something with the bones without having to go frame by frame fixing all the points, I'm going to go that direction.
That makes sense.
But that's very impressive, and it makes sense. It doesn't have bones. It works very well.
Junie forwarded me a message about the thing he was talking about, the issue with the hot boxes. I don't know if you have time to go over that or not.
Maybe it's Uni. Are you in the on our Discord server?
I would be surprised if Junie was not.
So maybe if you can post that there with some examples, we can take a look.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I don't think we changed anything, but maybe we did accidentally. Officially, we didn't change anything.
But yeah, that's probably a good point to stop off on. Some really cool features, really neat stuff, really comprehensive walkthrough. Thank you so much, Victor. This was really neat. I learned a lot watching you work through the software. I'll definitely be watching this back again.
No problem. No problem. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me here. And yeah, I hope it was fun.
It was super fun. Do you have anything you want to plug or like anything you want to like share with the people here?
What do I want to share?
I posted the Moho link.
If you create animation, please use the Moho animation tag and tag us on social media if you want to share something. Like everything you can do to help to spread the word, it will be great. And if you can follow us on social media at Moho Animation, like everywhere.
No, that's
That would
great.
be great.
Yeah, tagging stuff is super helpful. You guys are really great on social media too, by the way. Like, it seems like you're really good about finding people who use your software and are very encouraging about it. It's really neat to see.
Yeah. I mean, we use them to celebrate what people create, and we always try to create, like, someone created a good animation, we try to create a good video with that, instead of just showing the video or reposting the video that they created. We always try to add some value and some, I don't know, add some kind of learning value to it.
Yeah,
and
it seems
some
like
coolness.
you guys are very like artist focused, and I really appreciate that a lot. It seems like, unlike other companies, it seems like you kind of give a shit, and I really appreciate it. It's really great to see.
Yeah, no, we do. I mean, we work in, I mean, we are animators or people related to animation, and
It's super
yeah.
cool.
yeah, we care. I mean, my friends are animators, so I want to be fair with them,
Yeah. No, it shows. It definitely shows. But yeah, thank you so much, Victor.
All right.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. I don't know how I end here. Should I just cut the call, or what do I do? This is like my first official streaming, I think.
Yeah, I'll hang up on you, and
Cool.
I'll try not to be rude about it. This is me saying goodbye.
All right, no problem.
Thank you for your time, Victor. Again, really appreciate it. This was super cool and helpful. A lot of people will find this quite helpful, so thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, bye, Victor. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Victor, everybody. Oh my gosh. How cool and neat was that? That was super cool. Man, so I'm going to be turning this VOD into a highlight. So it'll be available both on Twitch and on YouTube. If you missed the VOD, check out my Twitch livestream archive. It's on there. If this is not sponsored, by the way. Victor just wanted to help. I wanted Victor to be on stream and help us like learn Moho. There's no sponsorship or anything going on. I just really like Moho. I wanted to learn about it, and Victor took time out of his day to just talk us through it and like show us how to use it, which is super cool of him to take the time to do that. I think that says a lot about both Victor and the company. So if you want to check out Moho, that's the link to it. And yeah, if you want to watch somebody who uses Moho a lot and has a lot of really good tips, and also you just want to watch somebody like work through the software, Junie is a really great animator to follow. Junie does a lot of Moho animation, has a lot of really good tips and tricks about it. And I think that's kind of it, you guys. Do you guys have anything else you want to ask or like talk about? Otherwise, I think we might just raid out and call it a stream. This was really fun. Appreciate you guys being here. Hope this was helpful. Bunny butts! I learned a lot, Terzi. Yeah, I learned, probably the biggest thing is like just how important bones are to Moho. It really seems like that's just legitimately how you need to set it up. And it's less complicated than I thought, because you set up all the bones on one layer rather than like a bone per layer, you know? It's really easier to set up than I thought it would be. So that's something I learned today, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. A lot of really useful hotkeys like Control F for like adding keyframes to everything was really helpful. Right? Isn't Victor so nice? I love talking to that guy. He's super cool. Try my old Moho version I got for sale. Yeah, so I think everything we went over today should work for every version of Moho. Whether you got the 12 version from the Humble Bundle or you got the newest version 14. Yeah, it's super cool that it's run by animators, like people who are in the trenches. They're not just out to make a buck. I mean, they want to make a buck. It's a business, but it's cool that it like comes from a place of people who actually like work in the field and stuff. That's super cool. Vitruvian bone structure sounds very interesting, being able to switch to limb versions that are fully rigged. Yeah, I'm gonna do more learning about that on my own time. That sounds super interesting. Victor was saying they have tutorials on their website about it that are pretty easy to follow. The stream made me feel like I could use Moho. That's so cool. That's really neat. Oh, that puts a big old smile on my bunny face. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it. Yeah, guys. I think that ought to do it. Thanks again, everyone. Let's see who we can pass the love on to. Let's see who's online. Also, thank you for the follows, Art of Arthi, Moonstalker Wolf, and Fanuk. I really appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't shout you guys out during the call, but I appreciate the follows. Thank you guys. Good to see you, Fanuk. Love your stuff. Fanuk's awesome. Let's see who's online. Let's see who we could raid. Yeah, let's give Fanuk a shout out, because Fanuk's an incredible frame-by-frame animator. Big, huge fan. Really cute fursuit, too. Oh, I see Gad is streaming. Gad could be fun. Yeah, let's raid Gad Works. Hopefully he's not ending too soon. Love Gad. We'll give Gad a raid. Did Junie actually go live? Did he? Hold on. Did Junie literally go live? Junie, you rapscallion. Hold on. I have to see. He did. Let's do it. Let's raid Junie. That's too perfect. Junie, I know what you are. Dude, I love it. Let's take advantage. Let's go raid Junie. Keep that Moho train going. It's so funny. You're learning Moho too, Fanuk. I'm gonna highlight this VOD. Victor did a really great and like quick job going through the software. I think you could follow this VOD and like learn Moho pretty much. He went over everything. So I'll highlight this again. If you want to check out the VOD, it'll also be on YouTube. If YouTube's easier to use for you. It's on my second YouTube channel. But yeah, go say hi to Junie. Give him lots of love. Junie's an amazing animator, good friend. So you guys take care. Have a good rest of your day. And thanks for stopping by. I'll catch y'all next time. Lovies and bubbies. Bye. Bye.